It's it's what makes it's like your image, what people see about you. And
Mm.
also, I feel personally for me, identity is what I feel about myself. Like what keeps me going. That, okay, this is who I want to become. This is the woman I want to be. So it's not just what people see about me or what believe about myself. That, okay, this is not me. It keeps me on track. That's just basically it keeps me on track. This is not me. This is not what I this is who this is just a distraction from whom I'm meant to be.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I saw somebody else raise their hands. Joy, what somebody's put in the comment that your identity is what makes you stand up. Please, Temitope, go ahead. Thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead, Temitope. You can unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Yes.
Can you hear me? I want to
Loud
pray.
and
Am I
clear.
audible?
Yes, very,
Oh,
very.
okay. Thank you. Identity. I think identity is actually understanding who you really are, having an awareness of who you really are, what you really stand for, what you really are. And I believe that it's important that we understand who we really are, what we stand for, our passion, our strength, having an understanding, being fully aware of who you really are, not what people say about you, not what the society expects of you, not whatever prayer, but who having an understanding, you yourself, having an understanding of who you really are. And I believe it's important because when you get to that point that you understand yourself fully, every other thing originates from there. You act from there, you vision from there, you look into the future from there, you act from there, your mindset is from there, from your identity. In fact, the way you relate with God, it comes from there, everything originates from there. Having a full awareness of who you really are, your values, your strength, everything about you. When you fully have an understanding, you understand your identity, and everything you do originates from there. Your dream, everything originates from there. Thank you, ma.
All right, thank you so much. And so I'm just going to take up from where Temitope stopped and just build on there because she said it all. Your identity is who you are, and your identity, what you think about yourself, determines everything about your life. It determines all of your life choices, your choice of where you live, your choice of the kind of job you're going to do, the choice of who you marry, the choice of everything the people you keep, the relationships you keep, where you choose to stay, the kind of conversations you allow yourself to listen to, the kind of places you go to. Everything in life is determined about who you think you are. And that is why it's important that any discussion we're going to be having on evolution starts from a place of identity. It starts from a place of identity. So we're going to be breaking down these things today. Now, the problem I've seen is that too many women, too many times as women, because many times identity seems to be defined by others. We seem to define our identity by others. When you're young, maybe you are a daughter, somebody's daughter, you have parents, they determine everything that you do. You're maybe a cousin, you're a sister, and you're all that. And then you move on, you get married, maybe you become a mother, you take a career, you're either a CEO or you're a boss or you're something at work, you get married, you're somebody's wife, then you are a mother. And sometimes it seems as though through all these rules, it's hard to define who you are underneath all these rules. Underneath all these roles, we'll come to that. But the thing is, many times we end up living our lives for other people. The way we live our lives is dictated by other people. When you're young, you're living with your parents. They determine where you go, what you do, how late you can stay, and all that. And if you, some people were lucky, they got the chance to live alone, maybe before they got married. But if you don't, then it becomes, oh, I'm somebody's wife. They determine what I do, you know, and all that. Some people have had to stop their jobs because they got married, or because they became mothers. Motherhood has taken some things from some people. You know, there's always something or somebody determining what you do as a woman. It sometimes seems as though you don't have the chance to really express your own self. But the thing is, too many times, the real question is, too many times, the question to ask is, do you even know who you are? Underneath all those roles that you play, do you know who you are? Do you know? That's the question. Do you know? I've seen too many women wake up at 40, 50, 60, and just realize that, you know what? I don't even know who I am. I don't even know what I want out of life. I don't even know where I'm going. All I can say about myself is, you know, I work in this job. If this job were taken away from me, who would I be? Some people define themselves by their marital status. Some people have waited for so long to get married that they're now like, I can't live my full life until that time comes. Some people have gotten married and everything they are is defining there. Apart from that, they don't know who they are. I'll tell you a story. If some years back, I met a woman. She was in her 50s, late 50s, almost 60. And we were at a training together. And she was really excited about the training, and we were being asked, why did you come for this training? And she told me, or not me, but she told us that she had 3 children who were now adults, and she had never worked, not one day in her life. Her husband was wealthy, had a good medical practice. She never needed to work. Not just that she didn't need to work, she had taken the time to invest in her children, be at home, be a full-time stay-at-home mom for her children. And she had spent all her life raising her kids, doing everything. And then at a point, her last child left home, went to university, and all of them were outside the country. And she became miserable because she now realized, who am I? What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I don't even know who I am. I don't even know what I'm doing. And so she would call her daughters and they'll be like, oh, mommy, I'm in class. Mommy, I have to do this. I'm busy now. And because of the time difference in the US, she constantly felt like I'm being a burden. Her husband will not be back till late. And she was just there. It's like, I've spent all my life serving everybody. Who am I? And so one day she decided to pick up a skill. She decided to pick up a skill. And that was the turning point of her life. For me, it's a tragedy for anybody to wake up at 50, wake up at 60, even at 40, and just decide, I don't even know what I want. I don't even know who I am. And here you are directing other people on how to find their own lives, giving meaning to other people's life, but you have no, quote unquote, no meaning. You can't define your meaning in life. And for situations like this, we need to have discussions like this. We don't have to wait until you are in a situation where you cannot define your identity. We don't have to wait until you are in a situation where you are wondering what next for me before we begin to have these discussions. It's important to have them now and begin to awaken our sense of identity and begin to awaken our sense of purpose. And that is why we are in this place today. As the year begins, it's a good time. I believe very, very much. Some people ask, what's the big deal about a new year? It's just a continuum of time. But for me, I believe very, very much in the turn of seasons. So at the beginning of a new year, everybody's asking questions. It's a good time to evaluate. What 2025 was a section of time, 2026 is another section of time. So it's a good time to evaluate and say, what are we doing here? So we could have pushed this forward to February, later in the year, but I think it's a good point in time. At VIVE Africa, we think it's a very good point in time to have this discussion before the month ends. And so before January ends, we just keyed in and decided to have this conversation. So I've asked you questions, and I want you to begin to think about it. Begin to think about it. Beyond the roles you play, who are you? At your very core, who are you? Ask yourself questions like, what do I want? What do I really want out of life? Maybe that seems a bit, you're not sure, that question seems esoteric, it seems abstract. Ask yourself, where do you want to be? And this is not always about money. It's not always about money, because the woman I told you about, she had money. Money wasn't an issue for her. She was making jewelry now, and that jewelry it gave her meaning. She said, I'm not making it for the money. I don't need the money, but it gives me something to wake up to every day. The question is, what do you want? Where do you want to be? What are your life goals? And I'll give you one good way to measure it. Imagine, let's not wait till the end of our lives, because that's one way we could look at it. But imagine you are at your 80th birthday or 90th birthday party, and they've invited your kids, or there's a party put together for you, and there are all these people from different places, different parts of your life and all that. What would you like them to say about you? If your biography at that event was going to be read, what would you like it to say? What would you like it to say? You can write down these questions. You can begin to think about it. What would you like to say? How would you know that you've lived a fulfilled life, that I've done the things I was born to do? How would you know? Do you even know what you were born to do? The job that you're doing, why are you doing it? Is it because of the money you earn? Or is it because of the value you give, the purpose involved? Which of them is it? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. What would I like to be read about me at my 80th birthday, at my 90th birthday? Or what would I like to be in my biography when I cross to the other side and they're reading my biography? What are the things that I would like to be written there? What are the important things? If you there's a lot of information. You can go to YouTube, or social media. You find a lot of videos that talk about people at the end of their lives and the things that were important to them. It's usually not money. It's about purpose. So where do you draw your identity from? That's the question. That's another question. Where do you draw your identity from? Where? Is it from the money you have? I'm not saying money is not important, but some people draw their identity from the money they have. And this is not even about right and wrong. So don't think I'm saying if you draw your identity from money, you're bad. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just asking you to define it. Let's define it first. Where do you draw your identity from? Is it from your job? Is it from the money? Is it from your family? Is it from your kids? Is it from the validation your significant other gives you? Is it from your friends? Is it from the validation of people? Define it, understand, begin to walk through your head and identify who gives the definition of your identity. Is it people? Is it society? Is it society? And the answer you give to that question determines what you do with what people say about you. Some people hear one rumor about them or one piece of information about them, and it completely destabilizes them. They can't move on. They can't get up. Some people look at, all my classmates from secondary school are doing this, and therefore, because they feel left out, they can't move forward. That sense of shame is so deep that they can't move. They can't move. So what does that tell you about where you are drawing your identity from? Some people look at their siblings, and when they see what their siblings are compared to them, it's either they feel so they have a high sense of importance, or they feel less than. What does that tell you about where you're drawing your identity from? Some people, when you see a mother-in-law, I mean, you know, those mothers that come into their children's homes when their children are married, they sit there, they're involved in everything. Why do you think they do it? It's because their sense of identity is drawn from their children's validation. They don't have any other meaning in life. They don't have any other meaning in life. Outside my kids, who am I? And so they see their kid's spouse as the person that is coming to take their place. Because, but if you see a woman who has so much she's invested in, she might not even, if the kids would be saying, Mommy, when are you coming? And won't you come and visit us? Some of us women draw our identity from our children. If our, it's like, I remember a woman who said, she, as far as she was concerned, she sewed, she did everything for her children. And then something happened. And, something happened within the family, and her children didn't support her. In their opinion, she was wrong, or she could have done better, or they supported somebody else, and she was devastated. But guess what? It was a wake-up call for her. She said, oh, wow, these are the children I think, I'm doing everything for. It's time for me to take care of myself. She was in her 40s or something. We can begin to have these conversations ahead of time, so that your life is free of the need for validation. How do you handle, where you draw your identity from, where you draw your validation from, it determines what you do with what people say about you. And it also determines who you evolve into, who you become, and how you handle the seasons of your life. Because as women, we're always evolving. Evolving simply means we're always transitioning, we're always changing. Always, there's always something going on with us. I mentioned it at the beginning. We go from being a daughter to, men experience the same, they experience transitions as well, but guess what? Many times men experience it from a place of authority. From, when we get into the family, we see men as the head of the family, and so they tend to bear the authority. It's different when you take all your power and everything that you have, and you're now coming to a place where, again, you're not, quote unquote, the final authority over your life. It's different. You have children. You have to, you can't just move anyhow. You can't just get up and go, because other things are holding you back. Always seems like that for women. And so as those seasons of our lives evolve, what you're going to do with them is dependent on where you are drawing your identity from, and where you are drawing your identity from. So, like I said, I want us to, in the next 1 minute, again, take a minute to think. Take a minute to think. Who do you think you should be? And write it down. Write it down. Who do you think you should be? Where are you drawing your identity from? Do you have clarity about who you are, your purpose in life? Do you? And I would like 1 or 2 people to share their answers in the comments. But if you don't feel like sharing, it's not about what you tell us, it's about what you tell yourself. I like to tell people about what I call the butt naked truth. And the butt naked truth simply means that truth, women, we package a lot. Look at me, I'm all made up, look at our profile pictures, pretty. And there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, we come out looking our best. But when you get back to your room, to your bedroom, and you remove all the padding and all the what's that thing, corset and all the things you've put in place, you wipe off the makeup. That's the naked truth. Only you sees it. The rest of us, we see what you want us to see. Only you sees it. So in the same way, you need to tell only yourself the truth. Tell yourself that truth. That's the most important person. So if one or two people would like to share, where do you draw your validation from? Do you have clarity? Where do you think you want to be? Are you clear on that? One or two people would like to share. You can unmute and share, or you can just tell us in the comments. You can just tell us in the comments. I'd like us to reflect on that. Take a moment, reflect on that. Take a moment and reflect on that. All right, does anybody want to share? Does anybody want to share? Okay, if you're not sharing, then I need you to do something because, okay, thank you. Nafisa, please go ahead and share. Unmute yourself. You're muted. Go ahead and share.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm Nafisat. Okay, so let me go straight to the. I actually love that this is coming up because throughout last year I had a meltdown about this particular issue because who I actually want to be is I want to, I don't know, I feel like I love to be a teacher. I'll probably, let's say, lecturer, and most especially I would love to like have my master's and my PhD. And somehow things are not always coming together. So I try to, I don't know, it's like I try to give myself a satisfaction by just doing things around, just learning I don't know, learning new things to complement for the bigger goal that I have that I want to achieve. Yeah, because okay, let me cite this as an example because truly all my classmates, yes, most people are for that, and I feel like I'm left behind, like I'm not where I would love myself to be. Like I feel like the potential, the urge to learn that I have within me is being wasted on being married, on being taking care of my kids. And I feel undervalued with that. Like when I sometimes when I feel like I'm seeing someone, I know I'm projecting what is in me, what I feel the person should be thinking about me. I know that that is what I'm projecting to the person's mind. So when the person wants to talk, I just kind of attack them based on what I know within me is growing. And I don't know. I used to have some social friends to share what I feel like and what my goals are before. And over time, I just felt like we are not in the same place anymore. They furthered, they are getting to where they want to, or they are getting to where I tell them what my dreams are, what I want to achieve, and they've achieved that, and I'm still here. And I just backed out from all friendship, from whole relationship. So it's I don't know. I truly am still pursuing ways of earning my master's, and every time something gets to bring me back to where I am. And I don't know. Seriously, it's I don't know. This is serving like a therapy, like I'm pouring out what's in me. What it's serving like I have an outlet to share what I feel within me. And because it's so most times it feels like I don't know where to go further anymore. But truly I have some mini businesses I do, but they're not really coming forth with what I want to achieve with the money. And the the concept of going for a loan is very scary for me. I don't think I have the heart, because I know that I'm the kind of person that I owe someone money. My main project, my own target is how do I pay this money? And if I don't have a way of paying the money, I definitely don't want to go and borrow. So I can't say I want to borrow and say, let me go for my master's without my husband's input. But still, I'm still not getting to where I am. So my identity, let me say, when you were asking about identity, I wanted to say, what will I was asking myself, who do I say I am? When someone asks you, who are you? I'll say, okay, I'm a, I learned digital marketing, and okay, I've worked with so many tools. Truly, I've not gotten to where I am. I want to do a master's in digital marketing or probably program management. Someone I've worked with somewhere. But see, I can't really say that is who I am. So what do I say I am? I'm just a mother, because that is all I can say. I'm just a mother. I don't have a thriving business. So to me, it is not thriving. So I'm just a mother. And that's the naked truth. So
Wow.
that is all I have to say.
Thank you very much for sharing, Nikisa. Thank you. Mm. Thank you for sharing. I want to say to you that the first thing that you need to understand is that it's not work, it's not what you do that defines you. It's not the roles you play that define you. You might feel like that, but that's not what it is. And that's the whole goal of why we're here. Now, I cannot promise you that everything that you've talked about can be resolved in this session where we have just about an hour to go. I cannot promise you that. But what I can tell you is that you're on the beginning of the journey. And you're on the beginning of the journey, first and foremost, because you've identified the problem. You've identified what it is. And you've been honest with yourself to tell yourself where you are drawing your identity from, where it's coming from, what you think. You know, you even went as you're even as honest as saying, sometimes I project my how I feel about myself on people because I think that is what they're going to say about me. And so as a form of defense, I attack them first. You've even gone as far as identifying that. So I can tell you that you are on the path to where you want to be. And because you know the problem, you know that proverb that says a problem shared is a problem half solved. Because you can articulate it, you understand it, it's almost solved. You're halfway to your solution. So, like I said, I cannot promise you that today in this conference, in this seminar, you're going to get the clarity, everything you need to take you to where you want to be. Like, that's not a 1 hour job. But what I can tell you is that you're on a good path, and that following this conversation, you can now begin to take the steps. At least you will be better armed with the tools that you need to take you to where you need to be. Right. Thank you. Josephine, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Hmm. Um, Honestly, to say the truth, I couldn't write anything down, but I listened to it. Mrs. Nafisat said, and it struck a chord. It's is it a mother? Is it being a mother? Is it being a teacher? Is it being a daughter? Like I was, I'm sorry to say this. I may offend one or two people, but I feel religion also has given us another identity crisis. Okay, a woman had to be submissive, a woman, you can't you can say some certain ways, you can do some certain things, and you're trying to figure out who you are. Okay, personally, I feel okay, yes, this is what I project. I have a vision board. I always do that every year. I keep a vision board. It's always something that pops out in my phone or in my system. Immediately I on it, I see that just to give me a visual that, okay, no matter where you are, this is where you're going. But most times, to say the truth, when I'm alone myself, I just tend to tell myself, okay, almost as if you're on your own. No. You're on your own, but you tend to get people who bring you down, either people you trust a lot, either your partners or even your family that you feel, okay, this should be my biggest support. And you're not like this. Why are you like this? You're supposed to do this like your sister, like your brother, something like that. Just you even see yourself telling that, projecting that to your children. Can't you see your brother? And I have to call myself back that okay, I don't want to it should end with me. There are traumas that we're carrying on ourselves that we don't even know we're dealing with. I saw a movie 2 weeks ago. It's just a normal movie. It's about a girl and her mother and some things. And I was just crying. I don't know why I was crying. Because I just felt, okay, there are some things I've not trashed. There are some things I've not come to terms with because I just feel it's not the norm. I can't say that. Even to express yourselves, most times we don't even know how are you? I'm fine. That shouldn't be the answer. You should be able to say how you feel. And the little time you even have a time to say, I'm anxious, I'm feeling bad, you see people bring the Bible. Don't you have faith? You should have faith. You should do. And it's like, what? I'm trying to tell you how I feel. So seriously, to me, I didn't even know what to write down because it's as if I don't even know what to say. Who am I identifying as? Am I identifying as me, the girl who wants to go out there, travel the world, see things for herself, have a nice, sorry to say this, have a good sexual life? Is it bad? Or the model daughter who wants to, I don't know. So it's quite a battle, but it's something that I've just learned today. I need to sit down and really be sincere with myself. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you for being vulnerable. Um, Again, just like I said to Nafisa, one thing I cannot tell you, I cannot promise you that by the end of today's discussion, you will know what to do. You will have the answer to all these questions. What I can do, what I can tell you is that you will be better equipped. You will have the tools you need to begin to probe and bring up the questions that need to be asked, the tools to understand how you can begin to get to the next level, and probably a bigger tool that can actually help you to get there. So that is the purpose, or that's the reason why we have put this together. The other thing I want to say to both you, Josephine and Nafisat, is that I know that we're 34 on the call right now, and only two of you have spoken. And there's this way that life tells us that, I'm behind. I'm the worst of my case is just the worst. But I can tell you, I don't know every woman here. and I don't know and even the people I know, I do not know all their stories. But I can tell you that you're not alone in this. Everybody has, if you sat down, if we said, okay, let everybody start sharing their stories, I don't think we would leave here today. And I think at the end of it, we may all be in some kind of tears. So I want to thank you for being vulnerable, both of you. I want you to understand that you're not alone, and everybody has something to say, even if they're not saying it at this in this event, they're not saying it. And I also want to say that listen on, hold tight, wait till the end, and get to hear, get to understand some of the tools that can help you. This exactly what you've said, both of you have said, those thoughts are what have driven us at VIVE Africa to put together this kind of events and subsequent ones. So, not to take too much of our time, I want to dive into the next session where I'll be talking about how evolution happens. Okay, so you're here. You want to get to wherever you want to be. For some people, it's very far. For some people, it's not too far. But the important thing is that you need to get somewhere. So, what is evolution? Evolution is the journey that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. And in this session, we're just going to try and understand how do we get from where we are to where we want to be. Because it's something that we need to understand, then we understand also that it's an intentional journey. It's an intentional journey. These are intentional steps that we need to take. It's not just going to happen. If we're just going to happen, there's that saying again that says, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Everyone would have everything they want. If we could just wish it, hope it, and be there. But we can't. And therefore, we need to take intentional steps. We need to understand how the journey works. And to do that, I have 3 Ks. I'm going to talk about the 3 Ks that can help us. And the first K is knowledge. Knowledge sits astride all the remaining Ks. The entire journey, knowledge, you need knowledge for the entire journey. Knowledge never stops. The first thing that knowledge does for you is that knowledge works in different ways. The first thing it does for you is it creates awareness. It even opens your eyes. Do you know that sometimes we don't even know what we don't know? We don't even know what we are unaware of. You can be blissfully unaware of something, completely unaware of certain things. You don't even know they exist. And so your evolution journey starts with even knowing, even learning, even being willing to admit that, oh, wow, that's something new. Being willing to take in that new knowledge. For some people, is new. For some people, it's a rehash. So that's why I said knowledge sits astride the whole journey. But the first level of knowledge is the one that opens your eyes and says, wow, I never thought of it like that. Wow, I never saw it like that. Or now, yeah, that explains that thing that I've always thought about, but I never had words to express. So that's the first phase of knowledge. And that's what we need. So if a setting like this is bringing you knowledge, is bringing us knowledge, what are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you watching when you go through social media? Like I said, it's about intentionality. The same phone that some people use to just relax and kill their sorrows, some other people are making millions of it. Somebody picks up their phone and says, this year my life will change. And they begin to listen to certain types of messages. They begin to gather certain types of knowledge. And in a year, you cannot recognize them. Some people with just a smartphone, I promise you, and I kid you not, some people with just a smartphone have transitioned their lives So, knowledge, again, what are you taking in? What are you listening to? Who are you watching? Who are you looking at? Who are you learning from? What are you watching? Are you just watching Yoruba magic and just entertaining yourself and, just entertaining yourself? Or are you intentionally learning? Are you picking up stuff? Are you reading books? Are you intentional about what you read, what you let into your mind? That's the first step. That's the first step, the knowledge. You want to have a PhD, Nafisat? What possibilities are there? If you can't get one in Nigeria, what do you even know? You know what? Too many of us know what we don't want. We don't know what we want. We have no idea what we want. And I'm not talking to you. I've been there. Everything I'm telling you is something I've lived through. Every single thing. So don't think I'm not putting myself as the teacher, Lord and Master, and you are my loyal subjects waiting to hear from the sage. No. Any wisdom I'm sharing is from the place of experience, from the place of deeply observing others. One time I did ask myself, somebody asked me, I listened to something and where you were supposed to ask, what do you want? And honestly, I didn't know what I wanted. This was some years back. I had no clue. I know, I don't want to be poor. Oh yeah, I don't want to be left behind. Oh, I don't want to be the person that is not achieving. Oh, I don't want to be a failure. But what does success mean? I had no idea. What level of wealth do I want? I don't know. Why do I want the wealth? I don't know. So if you don't know, we don't know what we want. And that's the question I want you to take from him. What do you want exactly? Can you articulate it? I remember asking somebody, a mentee of mine at a time, I said, how much do you think is, and I'm asking all of you to go and do this exercise on your own. Go and do it after today. After this seminar, go and do it. I said to her, think of an amount, no caps. No, there's no cap on the amount you can think of. An amount that you think can completely change your life. That if I had this amount of money, I'm okay. I would not have any problems again. And she said to me, 100 million naira. And I'm like, fantastic. Now go and write down for me. That 100 million naira, if you got it now, how would you spend it? For a week, she could not answer me. And when I finally forced her to sit down and tell me your answer to the question, she said, I don't know. And by the time she began to write the things, she saw that she would squander that 100 million and her life would still remain where it was. We know what we don't want. We don't really know what we want. That's something to think about as I go to the next K. When you gain the knowledge, when you meet the knowledge, as you begin to develop in knowledge, something happens to you. A spark, a flame, something is sparked in you. That's the kindling. It kindles something in you. It awakens something in you. That's a kindling. Something is kindled within you, a flame, a small flame. You know, when people that have cooked maybe outside or with firewood or something, when you first light that fire, it's very small. It's very small. Or just imagine that you want to set a bush on fire. You light one place, you put fire to the dry leaves. It's very small. That smoke is very, very tiny. Or that flame is very, very tiny. It's just a spark. And before you know what's happening, it continues to grow and grow, and it grows into a large inferno. But that kindling is done through knowledge. Suddenly something is sparked in you, and it's like, that's interesting. I never thought of that. I need to do something about it. It begins to stir something in you that, oh, you know what? Something needs to be done. That knowledge draws you in. And guess what it does? It draws you to learn even more. That's what knowledge does for you. And that's why I said knowledge spans the entire journey. As you are getting kindled, you're like, oh, wow, I need to learn more about this one. Maybe as I'm talking, somebody just got a spark of an idea of something they can do with their phone. They're like, maybe I need to go and learn digital photography with or smartphone photography. You just go online, you see one video has been coming up on my status, on my social media a lot, and it's what you can do with your Samsung smartphone, Samsung photography. And I look at my phone, I'm like, so this Samsung can do more things than what I do with it. And so if it stirs something within you, then you are like, okay, I want to learn. Then you go and find out. And I'm saying to you, Nefisa, I don't know, but I'm saying to you, have you found out, okay, if I want to go outside this country and get a PhD, a sponsored one, what do I need to do? What do I need to have? Because if the opportunity came like that, guess what? You can't take it if you don't even know. If somebody came to you and said, do you have all the information about that place where you want to be? You want to buy a house. Do you have all the information about the area where you want to live, about the kind of house you want to live in, about how much it will cost? What if somebody says, what's your dream? How much would it cost you to get to your dream? Then you say, oh, let me go and research. You're not ready. You're not ready. We know how ready you are with the amount of knowledge you have. And when that knowledge has kindled something what more knowledge have you gained in that journey? So I'm calling it intentional learning. In kindling, as something is kindled within us, we begin to go for intentional learning on that subject. And the third K, I call it kinetics, just to rhyme, not because of anything, just to have my 3 Ks in order. I call it and then you'll understand what kinetic energy is. There's potential energy, there's kinetic energy. Potential energy is the energy something has at rest. So your potential energy may be the money you have in your bank account or the phone you have in your hand that you haven't done anything with. It's potential. That's all potential sitting around you. Kinetics happens when you get up and you decide to put that energy in motion. You decide to move. Then you are displaying your kinetic energy. That is kinetics. That's what I'm talking about. You start from a place of unconsciousness, then you come into consciousness and you're learning, and suddenly that flame that was lit becomes a burning fire, something that just wakes up and it's like, wow, I know what to do now. I need to move. You're no longer ignorant. You've grown in knowledge, and now you begin to put into practice the things that you know. That flame becomes a fire, a raging fire. At that point, you can't be stopped. That's how the evolution happens. That's the summary of how it happens. Of course, between each of these phases, there are years, there's pain, there's cost to it, there are years of learning, there are lessons to be learned, good lessons, bad lessons, there are tears, there's hardship, there's all sorts. So it's not like, oh yeah, I just started learning today, then tomorrow it sparked something, and then by next year, oh, I'm on fire. No, it doesn't happen like that. It's a journey. And that journey will look different for different people. But the truth is, one day you will look back and you'll be like, wow, I am so far from where I used to be. The problems you'll be having will be different problems, very different. They will look, the landscape and the architecture of your life will look very, very, very different. Very different. Very different. And this journey that I've spoken about, this journey of evolution, that's how we did everything we are today. That's how we got there. How did you learn your ABC? You got to nursery school, you had no clue what ABC was. And then your teacher said, the letters of the alphabet. We're going to learn the letters of the alphabet. And I'm sure that 2-year-old child is wondering, what's alphabet? What are letters? And they're just, and then the teachers begin to teach them A, B, B, and they begin to teach them songs and all sorts of things. And before you know what's happening, that child can recite the entire alphabet. And before you know what's happening, that child is reading. And before you know, as they gain more knowledge, suddenly they can read. Suddenly, the child that could not spell EYE, is spelling anthropology, is spelling heavy words, is teaching English, is an English professor. So everything that we are in life today came through this journey of evolution. We evolved to wherever we are. Whatever is working in our lives, whatever we know today, as little as ABC, 1, 2, 3. You learned 1, 2, 3. Today you are doing calculus and quadratic equations. How did you get there? You started with knowledge, you kindled something, and then with more knowledge, it lit a fire, and you put it into motion, and that fire went ablaze. It's how you got to where you are. So I'm saying that to tell you that you can do it. It's not a journey you haven't taken before. You have done it before. You just didn't realize that's what you were doing. I'm putting words to what you've done, what every one of us has done. You can do it. You can do it. You can evolve. I've told you what it takes. Just think about it. How did you get to where you are? You might not be where you want to be, but it's that same journey that is going to take you there. I promise you that. Everything we know as women, cooking, riding a bicycle, driving a car, for those of you that can drive, everything. I remember when I was, how old? Maybe 13, 14, and I wasn't allowed to cook anything except noodles or fried dodo. But before you know what's happening, look, I'm running a household. I can't cook anything. Some of us are chefs. That's how we learned. And before you know what's happening, it gets to a state where you can no longer unlearn what you learn. That is when you can say, oh, I've evolved to this level. I've evolved to this level. You can't unlearn it. Even if they woke you up and you were daydreaming and somebody told you to recite ABC, you would do it in your sleep without even realizing you were doing it, because you can do it. You don't need to look at a recipe book to cook egusi soup. You don't, because you've been doing it since God knows when. You don't even take it for anything. And I just feel inspired to say this, that some of us are sitting on things that we don't even count as anything. We're looking so much at where a big picture that we want to achieve that we don't even appreciate the things we already have. Like I said, that was me. Growing up, I didn't feel I had anything. Honestly, I have been, well, I had been coming first all my life. So I didn't even try. So I didn't think it was a gift. I didn't think my intelligence was a gift. I could cook. I didn't think it was a gift. I could sing. I never thought it was anything. So I didn't do anything with any of these things because I looked down on them. All I wanted to be was a consultant doing this, that. And as long as I could not do that, I felt incapable. But I was sitting on, I was sitting on gifts. I didn't even know I could speak. But look at me. I didn't even know I understood tech until I started putting my hands to it. I was sitting on all these gifts because I was looking at something that I didn't have instead of looking at what I have. And that's not part of what I'm saying. I just felt inspired to say that. I want to say that evolution is a lifelong journey. You never fully evolve because whichever level you reach is the beginning. You are just introduced to a higher level. So when you get to the top of the staircase, there's another staircase to climb, or there's a room to enter. It's like that. So it's a continuous journey. We're never going to end this evolution until we die, until we go cross to the other side. The question is, what are you evolving into? Because every day you are growing, you are learning things, you're picking knowledge, you're doing things, and we're becoming something. We're becoming something. whether you like it or not. The question is, are you being intentional about what you are becoming? And the way to do that is to be intentional about the knowledge you gain. As you're intentional about the knowledge you gain, then it kindles something. Then you intentionally get more knowledge, and then you begin to put it into motion. Are you intentional about the knowledge you gain? Are you intentional about gaining more knowledge? And are you intentional about putting what you have learned into action? Who are you evolving into? What are you evolving into? That is the reflection that I want to leave us with as I call on Mercy to say something. Mercy, over to you.
All right, Ma, thank you. Thank you very much. It has really been a lot coming in. You mentioned a lot from starting with identity awakening. Who do you want to be? Who do you really want to be? And where do you want to be? Beyond being a wife, beyond being an auntie, beyond being all of these titles, who do we really think that we are? At this point, I would give us few minutes to journal, to write down. And this is the point where we get to write what is rising in our hearts. And then in the next 5 minutes, I want us to write down one area where we think that we need to evolve, we need to shift, where we think that there is a need for me to do something new. There is a need, there is a call. I believe for every one of us, there is an awakening right now. There is a call in our hearts. And I want us to, at this point, write it down. It's okay if you want to share by writing in the chat box. If you want to, please go ahead. But if you do not want to, it's totally fine. But at this point, write down that part of you that you think that I need a shift. Oh, I think I really do not know who I am. I need to identify this area. I need to know what. Beyond me being a sister, beyond being a CEO, beyond being all of these titles, who are you? Now, for example, if you're at the stage where you already know who you are, but you are not manifesting yet, what do you need? In all of these 3 Ks, identify within this next 5 minutes. We're rounding up our 5 minutes by 5:14 because I came up 5:10 and we want to really keep the time. So if you want to share by writing in the comment section, please feel free to. But if you do not want to share, it's important that you write down at this structure. Write down what is it? What exactly is shifting in me? What exactly do I need to pay attention to at this time? So this is our moment of journaling. I will allow us to do that. We can have a soft music at this time so that we can think. We've heard a lot. We've heard a lot. It's really a whole session for me that I have to sit back and go over this over and over. So I'll allow us to do this in the next few minutes that we have left. By exactly 7:14, the music will be turned off so that we can really journal where exactly we're expecting the shifts, the changes we need to make. Thank you very much. We will need a soft music at this time. Kindly assist us. Thank you very much.
It's hard to see the sunshine through the yeah, I know sometimes it's but you
Okay, so I know that this few minutes that we have, I'm back in our first phase. I know that these few minutes that we have may not be enough to write all that we have on our minds. I know that we will still need more time to reflect, to be able to write down. But at this point, we would have to move to the next stage, and I will hand over to Mrs. Fageja again to continue with the next session so that we can um, quickly dive into the next session. Mrs. Fageja, are you there, ma?
Right. Yes, I'm back. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Right. Okay, so this is our last talking session, and this time we'll be talking about becoming the woman God designed, becoming the woman God designed. Sorry, I'm seeing something in the chats. Okay, we'll come back to that. Somebody should just help me take note of the questions and comments in the chat box. All right, so I want to say something that being a woman is not a fluke. Many times, sometimes when we look at the way that our lives as women turn out to be, in fact, I've heard people say that being a woman is like being cheated, because life demands so much from you. You're always the one having issues, all sorts of things, whether it's, health issues, all sorts of things, where our puberty is different, all sorts. We always seem to get the shorter end of the stick. But I can promise you that being a woman is not a fluke. And how do I know? How was the woman created? When we want to understand the purpose of a thing, we have to go back to the person who created that thing. If you saw a smartphone was not created to be a camera. Yes, it can take pictures, but that's not its primary job. So the fact that we are using it to take pictures does not make it a camera. A camera is a camera, a phone is a phone, a smartphone is a smartphone. If you want to really understand why something was made in a certain way, what it was made for, then we have to go back to the person who designed it. That's just how it is. And the question of identity really comes from your worldview. How do you view the world? How do you view the world? How did the world come into place? How did the world, what is the world about? What is the purpose of life? Where did we start from? Because if you believe that we just appeared, then that means, I don't know, that would determine where you get the question about, where you answer the question about your identity and your purpose from. But hereby, I'm going to come from the angle that God created us. And if we take the angle that God created us, if we want to understand how we are, where we are, or what we are as women, then we have to go back and ask from who created us. And so we go back to the beginning of things in Genesis. When God decided that, it's not good for Adam to be alone. And I'm speaking from the Bible. For those who may not be so familiar with the Bible, I'm speaking from the Bible. So when God said it's not good for Adam to be alone, he could have created another man so that they can be friends and be there. But he didn't. He created a woman. What that tells me is that women are different from men. A woman has something that a man does not have, just like men have something that a woman does not have. They are different. The way a spoon and a fork are different. The spoon can be used to eat. A fork can be used to eat, but they are different tools. They can be used to eat the same things. A spoon and a fork both can be used to eat rice, but they are different tools. The same way. For God not to create a second man, that means there was a purpose he had in mind for creating a woman. Now, one of the mistakes that we make when we go into, the core feminism and the core arguments about who a man is, who women are and all that, is that we end up judging what a woman should be by what men are able to do or what men do. So we say, oh, men are allowed to do this. Women should be allowed to do this. But we are different. It's always, if a man is doing ABC, why can't a woman do XYZ? Men this, women should this. We keep on, so we use men as the standard of what life should be. And then we say we should be on the same plane. That's typically how, when you hear a discussion about women empowerment, feminism, all that, that's typically how it goes. That's not the primary question. The primary question is, what should a woman be? Because we are different. We are not men. Men are men, women are women. We are different. So the question is, what is womanhood? What were women designed for? What do we bring to the table? Let me use the business term, what is our unique selling point? What's our USP? What is unique about us? When we understand our worth, what we have as women, where we differ, our USP, when we understand it, I'm going to change from USP. I'm just changing it. So I'll ask, what is our UVP? What's our unique value point? When we understand that unique value point, we can't be discriminated against, we can't be abused, because, if you are trying to judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, the fish will just be looking at you like, do you know anything at all? Because it knows, except it doesn't know it's a fish. But once it knows I'm a fish, you can't make him feel bad because he can't climb a tree. I can't climb. That's just the way it is. But he will use the place of his strength. He will play to the advantage of his strength, of his uniqueness. So once we understand who we are, we take charge of our lives. We stop getting discriminated. We stop feeling abused. We stop feeling abused. When they say, oh, I don't have a problem with advocacy. And in fact, advocacy is very, very important. So I need to say that advocacy is very important, because the advocates are the ones that go out, change the laws, do a lot of things. And that needs to be done on a macro level, on a larger level. But before we get to advocacy, let me tell you, there have been, from time immemorial, women have been discriminated against. And through all that discrimination and difficulty, there have still been women who achieved greatness, who did whatever they wanted to do, even in Bible times. So when people come and wield religion, it's because we allow them. It's because we don't have a strong sense of what we are, who we are. We don't even know. And I understand that it's hard to understand what we should be. Maybe we've never really been told. Maybe we've never really contemplated that question, but that's why we're here today. So, what is womanhood? I can't go into that full discussion today for various reasons, because it's not a discussion we can sit down and have within this time. We have a few more minutes to finish up, round up the session. So I cannot tell you everything about who a woman is. It's a lot of learning. But one thing, I'm going to point out one thing that is very clear from the Bible. And I'm saying this because I remember somebody mentioned religion has not helped. It's not religion that has not helped. Oh, sorry, let me say religion. It's not faith that has not helped. It is a wrong interpretation of wrong understanding of what God wants from us. But one thing is sure, and I just want to point out that one thing, and we'll take that as our starting point for this discussion of what a woman should be. One thing that is clear from scriptures is that women were not made weak, not at all. When God was going to create the woman, he said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a help suitable for him. You know, many people say a helpmeet. It's not a helpmeet, it's a help meet for him. And meet, that word meet is from the Old English and it means suitable. I will make him a help that is suitable for him. Now, many times in our modern English, when we think about the word help, what comes to our mind is a house help, a secretary. So somebody that is beneath somebody and is helping me. Come and help me carry this bag. Oh yeah, this is my helper. The person is just, that's not what the help meant in scriptures, in that part of the Bible. That's not what it meant. That same word help, in every single place where it is used in scriptures, is, apart from here, it is used of might help. Like when Nigeria said, America, come and help us fight the terrorists. We cannot fight them ourselves. Come and help us. That is not weak fight. That is coming to use your might to help us. That is what that word means. I may be challenging some people's theology, but you can go and check it out. That is what that word means. So it's not saying weak help, like all the things I cannot do. Oh yeah, come and be picking my bag, cleaning my shoe. No. That's not the kind of help. It's called come and be a pillar. Come and be the support. Come, I will create a pillar, a support suitable for him. What that tells me, straight up, is that the woman was not a weakling help. No. The way that the world has tried to interpret it and define it today, that is not what it is. And the truth is, in practice, many of us have found that out. And that is why this whole women empowerment thing and women equality is coming up. Because it's like, I have to think of it. What is it that men do that we can't do? Why are they making us seem less? We're not less because we're never intended to be. Whoever said you are less got the interpretation wrong. You're not less. You're not less. And a good picture that shows, a good place that shows that strength that we carry as women is the Proverbs 31 woman that everybody knows and idealizes. The Bible says, who can find a woman of, I'll first say the word we all interpret it with, and then I'll go back and say something else. Who can find a woman of virtue? The true word is a woman of valor. Who can find a woman of valor? Again, that word virtue means valor. In almost every other place where it is used in the Bible, it is interpreted from the Greek or from the Hebrew as valor. Who can find a woman of valor? Now, immediately you hear that word valor, it kind of, changes something in your mind, because when we hear of valor, we hear of mighty men of valor. It gives this idea of strength, not virtue. Virtue gives the idea of good character. Valor gives the idea of strength and power. When you look at that Proverbs 31 woman, I'm not going to go into that now. I know many of us are familiar with it. Even if you haven't read it, even if you've never read the Bible, maybe you've seen that. Maybe you've seen that. So who can, and if you begin to look at the things she does, many of us will just be like, I beg, I beg, I beg. I'm not doing. I don't want to be strong. In fact, I've heard many women say, I don't want to be strong again. Every time Proverbs 31. But that woman obviously was not a weak woman. She was and I love the Hebrew word is a woman of child. Child is not, that word that is valor is child. Who can find a woman of child? Now, let me tell you what child is. It's not just talking about military or powerful might. No, it's talking about all-round might. But child talks about completeness. Somebody who is strong in every area. Is it moral excellence? Is it financial strength? Is it mental strength? Is it, emotional strength? Is it spiritual strength? She has it together. She has everything. That's not a weak person, my dear. That's not a weak person. Please, how many people have a mother that they say, my mother was a Proverbs 31 woman? Just raise your hand, or, just raise your hand. Raise your hand or show an emoji. Somebody will say, my mother was a Proverbs 31 woman. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see some. Yes. And when you think of your mother, why do you say she's a Proverbs 31 woman? Was she weak? She wasn't weak now. You say, my mom, hey, when she's not there, you will know. That's why you said, I can define my mom as a Proverbs 31 woman. It's not a picture of weakness. It's a picture of strength. So we're going to start from there. I just want you to take that as an understanding. That's just or know that whatever the womanhood is, it is not the weakness they have painted to us today. No, it is not. It is not. It is not the second-class person that they are painted to us today. It is not. It is not. It is not the backward person, the person at the backstage of life, who is helpless, who is, burdened, and so. It is not. It is not. We may not be able to talk about everything it is today, but just know that it is not. That's not what God intended. That was never the plan. We are not men. We don't need to compare. You can't compare an orange and an apple. Like I said, you cannot compare a spoon and a fork. So we cannot measure ourselves by, if a man can do it, I should be able to do it. No, we're just different. Those differences, they will come later. But whatever it is, just know you're not a weakling, second class. That's not what God created us to be. That's not what God created us to be. So how do we become that person? I also want to say quickly that many of the issues women face in the world today, if we stand on our own, we're good. Many of us, we're good, But when it comes to women in relationships, whether in marriage, in a relationship, maybe interfacing with men in some place, that's when the issues do come up. That's when the issues come up. And many times we shape our thinking, we allow that to pervade our thinking, our reasoning, everything. We focus on that one part when there is so much more that we need to achieve. We focus on, what are they saying? What are the men saying? Why do they always say women? It's always that tussle. Meanwhile, you don't have to if you focus on being who you are, on achieving your goals, on getting to where you want to be, believe me, those discussions will not be important. They won't be. And that's why I said I love advocacy. It's good on the macro level, but on a one-on-one level, me talking to you, one-on-one, talking to one another. I'm talking to you as a person, one person, what you can do for yourself. I'm not talking about what society does to women. In the Bible, we had women who led armies to war. In the Bible, we had female queens who were even more powerful than the men. That's the time that they were saying, no, there is discrimination. The Bible discriminates. We had female prophetesses. We had them. in these times, we have women who conquered countries, women who are leading. We have women who are standing up and achieving things in spite of this discrimination and inequality that we're talking about. What's your excuse? It's not the men that are our problem. It's what you think about yourself. So we're going back to the place of identity. So I'm just going to run through 4 things that we need to do if we are to evolve into the woman of Chayil that God designed for us to be on a personal level. If you are to evolve into that woman, number 1, know it, which is what we are talking about today. You must know that there is a level that you can evolve to. Know it, be aware of it, be aware of it, be aware of where you need to get to. Awareness is on 2 levels. Awareness is on 2 levels. Number 1, you need to be aware of where you need to get to. Number 2, you have to be aware of who you are, your strengths, your weaknesses, understand your personality. And that's why we're going back to identity. We can't run away from it. You have to understand your identity, understand your strong points. What are my strengths? What are my, what is my UVP personally? What do I bring to the table? Understand it. When you understand it, the next, and you accept it, when you know it, you're aware of it, you understand it, the next thing you have to do is own it. Stop trying to be what you're not. Stop trying to be more like a man. Stop trying to be more manly. Oh, if only me too, I could do this. My husband is doing this. If only me too, I could do that. Stop. Own your femininity. Own it. Own it. It's only when you own it, your ability to do anything with it is in your owning it. If you have, like I said, let's go back to the phone matter. If you have a Samsung phone and you're always thinking about, this Samsung cannot take pictures as well as iPhone. This Samsung cannot do video as well as iPhone. What can the Samsung do? Because that's what you have. You don't have an iPhone, so deal with it. What can the Samsung phone do? When you become aware of it, you own it, you accept it. This is the limitation. This is what the Samsung can do. And then you value it. That's the 3rd part. You value it. I love it. I accept it. I value what is it that this Samsung can do? What is it special for? I value it special. I value the uniqueness of a Samsung. I value it. I value my uniqueness as a woman. I value my uniqueness as Efe. I value my uniqueness as Ijoma. I value my uniqueness as Laura. I'm not saying, please don't get me wrong, because a lot of people hear things like this and they become, that's just me, to accept me or leave me. No. If you have bad behavior, if you value yourself, you will evolve into a better version of yourself. So let me put it that way. Let me just leave that there. Value it, value your uniqueness, and then hone it or build on it. Begin to build on it. Begin to build on it. Okay, I can't cook so well. Okay, I can't, whatever you can't do. But what can I do? I'm a good speaker. I begin to speak. I'm a good writer. I begin to write. I can sew. I begin to sew. Build on what is your uniqueness. I'm a good encourager. Build on it. I'm a great mother. Build on it. Let me tell you a story about a mother, what she did. And I'm not even going to, popular kids. This was just a regular woman. Her children were in school. She was a stay-at-home mom, fully stay-at-home mom, a Hausa woman, fully stay-at-home mom. And her children were in school. And what she did was begin to get involved in the what they call it, PTA of her children's school. She was so involved. She made such an impact in that PTA of that school that the school, when her children finished from that primary school, the school insisted that she must be on the board of the school. That is owning, that is building on your strengths. She could have sat at home and said, oh, it's because my husband, I don't go anywhere. I don't have friends. I don't have money. I don't have. What do you have? Build on it. What do you have? Build on it. And to close out this session, I'm not going to give us any more reflections. I think you've taken enough. I want us to just make some affirmations, some declarations over ourselves. I want us to make some declarations. I want us to make some declarations and just affirm ourselves. Because the power of declarations and affirmations is in the fact that the more you say them, the more they begin to take root in your mind. And the more you begin to take root, they begin to take root in your mind. And the more you begin to embody them. So I want us to begin to I want us to take some declarations and just say it in your own place. If you want to unmute and say it, fine. But if you don't want to unmute, just say it in your space. So let's go. When I say it, you repeat after me. I have clarity.
I have clarity.
Thank you. I know who I am.
I know who I am.
I am female by design.
I am female by design.
Created on purpose.
Created on purpose.
And for purpose.
And
every day I am growing.
Every day I am growing.
Evolving into the woman God made me to be.
Evolving into the woman God made me to be.
I fulfill my purpose in every area of my life.
I fulfill my purpose in every area of my life.
I am intentional.
I am intentional.
I am strong.
I am strong.
And I am full of valor.
I am full of valor.
Thank you very much for listening to my session. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mercy.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Ma. It's been an eye-opening session. It's been a lot that I can't at this moment just put into words, but thank you very much for pouring so much out. And at this moment, because of our time, we will have our question and answer session. But before we go into that, this is the moment where we'll call on VIVE team members to answer their why, the reason you agree to sign up to be a member of this team. So allow us do this together. I would love to start, but let me start with Elizabeth, and then thereafter I would state my why. So Elizabeth, I believe you're on this call. Kindly unmute.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can anyone hear me? Okay. Yeah, good evening. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Madam Ife, for putting this together. It's always an insightful moment, impactful moment anytime I get to be on your speaking engagement. All right, so I said yes to this call because it actually speaks to my value. It speaks to my calling. I believe so much in women rising, in purpose, in depth, and being grounded spiritually and in every areas of life. So this is a vision. A VIVE is a vision that I see it will help women grow. It will nurture women and it will guide them fully. And it's also about intentionality. So it is something that really speaks to my value. And that is why I said yes to this call. And thank you, Madam Ife, for allowing me to be on your team again and again. I would love to say, I've worked with her for some time now, and it has been really amazing. It has been really eye-opening and learning on every side. So thank you once again. I'm glad to be part of this thing. Thank you, Mr. Mercy. Yeah,
thank you so much, Martha. Thank you so much. Do we have any member of the team again on this call?
Yes, Mrs. Iheanacho is here. Mrs. Joy Iheanacho.
Okay, please kindly unmute yourself and tell us your why. Okay, so while we're waiting for her, Um,
Okay, I
I
think she
wanted
must
to be
have
sure I
dropped off.
said it.
You go ahead. I think she must have dropped off before, Abby.
Okay.
I
Do
can
we have
see her.
any other member of the team here that wants to say something?
No,
Tell us
you go
your
ahead.
why.
I think you should go
Okay,
ahead.
so in the absence of any other person saying something, I will just go ahead and then I will keep it short. So as much as I want to keep it short, it started with going for an interview where, they were talking so much about feminism. Here we advocate for women. And it wasn't looking like we advocate for women. It was more of we compete with men and get all that we want to be. And in a way, that's how society is defining this race, so to speak. And so when myself and Mrs. Fagbeja spoke. Interestingly, I narrated that to her, and then we spoke about this. And the moment she said she sent me the manifesto for VIVE, I said, yes, this is it. This is for me a platform that defines truly who a woman is beyond what society says you are. First, VIVE will help you to identify who you are by the help of God, who you truly are. And then this is leading and changing from the culture, from what we have always known to who exactly we are called to be, and helping us to know that we are not in a competitive race with any man. It is you, your call, who you are, and literally fulfilling purpose and embracing who you are truly. And having said that, and again, thank you, Mrs. Fagbeja, for allowing me to be on this team. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And do we have any other member of Vibe now that wants to speak? Okay, in the absence of that, moving forward, we would. Mama, can we go ahead with
Dami,
our
would you like
question
to
and
say
answer
something? Because
session?
I see me smiling. Sorry, Mercy. I see somebody smiling. Maybe she wants to say something.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
we can hear.
Okay, so I've been with Mrs. Fagbeja for a little over 10 years now, and Vibe is one of the things that we've always talked about, is what we've always, um, what we have been about, really, in our women's circle, from girls' hangout to every other thing that we've done that has to do with women, to the NGO and every other thing. I mean, it was only natural for me to get on board with VIVE because it is another opportunity to teach women to see themselves the way God has seen us, the way God has created us to be. And I mean, what else? I'm a woman. That's the best way to be, to show fellow women who we really are through God's eyes and how we should see ourselves. And the minute we're able to see ourselves that way, I'm sure we can pick up on a lot of things in life in the way that it should be. So that's why I said yes to that.
Thank you. Mercy, over to you.
All right, thank you
Over
so
to you,
much,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you to all members of the team who have been able to tell us their why. And at this point, we will take for a few minutes, for just 5 minutes, question and answer. Questions. Please just put in the chat box so that if I ask us to unmute, my fear is that some people may be asking questions for over 1 minute, 2 minutes. And so if you have your question, kindly type in the chat box. And so while we are waiting on our question, but before we ask our question, if you believe that this session it's a lot for you because I don't have the words right now. If you believe that this has really been a transformative session for you, kindly state it in the chat box. And yes, let's appreciate the gifts of Mrs. Fagbeja to us at this time. If you truly believe that, no, this is not just a gathering. This is an insightful one. This is a purposeful one. Kindly state it in the comment section. I want to see that energy in the comment section. I know at this time a lot of us are thinking, reflecting. I know we're in that mode, but even though we are in that mode, let's appreciate Mrs. Pagbeja at this time. I want to see all of our comments in the comment section. And if you have question after appreciating Mrs. Pagbeja, please go ahead and ask your question by putting it in the chat box. Please do that in a minute. Okay, and yes, question. Or maybe somebody wants to unmute. Let me give two people the opportunity to unmute and ask their question. We're trying to really keep within time. Even if we do not answer all of the questions today, be on the lookout for our page and we will definitely answer those questions on the page. So one or two women who wants to ask a question. One, two, let me count 1 to 5. Identify by either unmuting yourself or raising your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, going, going, okay, gone. We don't have questions.
I think I see one in
Questions.
I see one in the comments.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, there is one in the comments. She asked earlier.
Okay, about pushing her business to the world, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if it's this program. I have done jingle for this program. No, it's not this program. No, but we won't be able to talk so much about business today because that question has many angles to it. So we won't be able to answer that question directly today. It's a business question, and it will require a lot of depth to answer it. Thank you everyone for the kind words. Mercy, any? So Mercy, over to you.
Okay, ma, so can we go ahead now with
Yes.
with presentation of VIVE?
Yes.
Okay, so at this point, I know a lot of us are already asking the question, what is VIVE? Yes, we understand that. Oh, VIVE network. What is VIVE network? So let me start by telling us the meaning of the word VIVE. VIVE is VIVE. You can see it behind Mrs. Pagbeja right now. So VIVE means vision, identity, valor, and valor is in bracket child, and then empowerment. I won't be able to, go into all of it. I'm not here to bore us. So VIVE is vision, identity, value, and then empowerment. And it's literally seeing beyond the present into God's great plan for us as a woman. And so, what are the 4 pillars, the essence of all of this VIVE? So, the essence of our shared identity is to help us with identifying our spirituality, our strength, our style, and then building a community, helping us to know that whatever stage or phase of life we are in, we are not alone. We are standing shoulder to shoulder in our relationship. We're here to hold hands and become fully all that God has made us to become. And you can literally tell from all that has happened today. First, we have talked about who we are. And this is a community that will strengthen us in becoming, in fully understanding who we are. And our movement is rooted in a Christian worldview, And then VIVE exists for the woman who is ready to rise above cultural noise, embrace our God-given voice. We're a network of thinkers, doers, creators, and leaders. And I'm very sure at this point, somebody is asking, how can I join this team? How can I be a part of VIBE? I really want to be here fully, take it all in. We have a Telegram page, and you can join our Telegram page. Our social media handles will be shared on the chat box before the end of this session. Please look out for um,
our social media handles. But beyond that, you can join the Telegram page. I will share the link shortly after now before we round up this session. I don't know if Mrs. Fabeja wants to add something at this point, ma'am.
Yes, please. All right. So thank you so much, Mercy. That was very, concise. You've said it mostly. I just want to speak a little more about the vital part of VIVE. VIVE is targeted at African women. A lot of what we've been doing has been in silos. People who have known me for a long time know that I've always been passionate about women, and I've been working with women for many years. But it's time to take, take this particular brand of women empowerment forward. It's time to grow this message. And what I've seen is that too many people are chasing the shadows. Like I said, the typical movement is saying, oh, you know what, you're comparing you to a man. And I'm saying you're not a man. We're saying here that you're not a man. Own yourself, understand yourself, and that is how you're going to be able to live, a fulfilled life. That's how you're going to be able to live the life that God ordained for you and fulfill your own purpose on earth, and also please God in the way of doing that. I know that life has not been fair to us as women. If we won't tell a lie, it's a man's world. That's the truth. I won't lie to you. It's a man's world. Men get away with so much, and they have an advantage in many ways. But if we understand our own strengths and what we can do, then we will go. And, what we've spoken about today is just the introduction. So VIVE is a movement where we look at the total woman. It's not just about, speaking motivation, speaking inspiration. No, we want to help you. We want to help all of ourselves grow into this child woman. So we're talking financial strength, we're talking emotional strength, we're talking spiritual strength, we're talking about strength from all angles. It is a place where a woman grows completely into who she was meant to become. And it's not, and that's why it's not, if it's work or something. It's not about me now. It's about the community, because I have strengths in one area, but all of us together will bring our different parts to the table and, push this message forward and, grow it into something that works for all of us, where we can all benefit. That is what VIVE is about. So if your heart is calling into this, please just start by joining the Telegram group. Click the link. There's Join VIVE Africa. Click the link, join the Telegram group. If you can click that link and register, fill your details, we'll have your details. This is going to be, we'll have resources, we're growing into something big. We'll have resources, we'll have financial resources, we'll have business resources. We'll have a lot of things that are going. Today's event is the pre-launch event. It's the pre-launch event. Like I said, we cannot afford to let January pass without speaking about something, without understanding this is a good time to reflect. So we cannot just let January pass without us reflecting. It's important that we do so. But the main launch of VIVE is coming up on the 28th of March. And so join. But don't just join. We want you to begin to tell people about it. As you are joining, begin to think of 5 women who need to hear things like this, 5 women who need to be on board, and begin to send it to them, send the links to them, let them join, let them follow our social media pages, because we want to grow this. We're targeting primarily women of African descent for some reasons, not because we don't want Oyibo women or we don't want women who are not of African descent, not because of that. And when I say African descent, what I mean typically is Black women from anywhere in the world. Not because we don't want other people or other races, but because as African women, what we've realized in VIVE is that we share certain common values. And those are the things that Mercy noted as the 4 pillars of VIVE. She spoke about strength. If you know many African women, anywhere where you find a Black community, you find strong women. We talk about strength. We talk about style. African women are very self-conscious in terms of their style, and they want to show it forward. That's how we appear. Identity is who you are inside. Vibe is how you are. I'm sorry, style is how you appear to others. We talk about style. We talk about, what's the third one now? Mercy, remind me, please. Mercy, remind me.
Spirituality.
Spirituality, yes.
Spirituality.
Thank you, thank you. So African women are spiritual. We are spiritual. That's the way we think. If you compare African women to Caucasian women or Western women, for example, they don't tend to carry that spirituality the way we do. It is inside our culture. It is the way we are. We are like that. And we are spiritual, so spirituality, and then we have community. In Africa, amongst Black women, we have a strong sense of community. We don't just grow for ourselves, we grow for our sisters, we carry our families along, our children, our nieces. So we want to hone the things that make us, that are natural to us, and showcase them. And then as we do that, if other people want to join us, no problem, the doors are open. But for now, we want to focus, as we grow first, we want to focus on women who share this common identity. So we are focusing primarily on women of African descent. So don't forget, as we leave the session, begin to think about who you can call 5 women, just 5, who need to hear this, just 5, and begin to bring them up and bring them on board. Let them join the Telegram group. That's why we went Telegram, not WhatsApp, because Telegram can take a lot more. And then you can go up and see the messages that have, been dropped before. There are some advantages of Telegram. So please don't say, Telegram, sha. Yeah, that's why we're using Telegram. So go ahead, give us your details, on the Google form, so that we can, when we're ready for the launch, we'll be able to capture it in our database. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I also want to say that the recording will be shared with everybody who joined the session. The recording will be shared. So watch your email in the next few days. We will share the recording with you so that you'll be able to listen over and over to what was said, or perhaps you couldn't catch everything. You'll be able to get the message and listen again. So the recording will be shared. So okay, Nafisa, please go ahead.
Hello, sorry, I was busy when we were told to share something we know about Mrs. Swagbeja.
No,
I don't know, I the course, but I have to say something. I don't know how other people knew you or experienced you. Let me use that word. The first time I met you, it was something you said. I think it was for a program you did in Lagos, and you said, and I told you, no, I wanted something in particular, and if I'm not getting it, I'm not doing it. And she said, no, you don't have to limit yourself to what you want to have. Why don't you go for what is available? Maybe, probably in the future, it's something you can incorporate in something else. That statement rings in my brain every time I remember you. So I don't know what it is, not even about what you said, it's about your approach to someone you just met, someone you don't even know. You don't know who they are, you don't know where they are from, you don't have any idea of who they might be. And your first thought is to impact. Yes, that's the word. And when the other day I talked about you like taking as a mentor, I've never in my life have an idea of saying, okay, I admire another woman, of following them, or thinking about what I can get from them, or about what they shared. So sorry, but I don't know. Your personality speaks to me. I don't know. I have this mentality of, maybe, I don't know. It's not like I want to be like you exactly, but I want to draw inspiration from you. That is how I feel within myself. And I don't know. I'm just saying this. This is my own perspective of who you are. So I just want to share my own thoughts on how I see you. Anytime I hear Mrs. Swagbeja, in fact, probably now my husband knows who Mrs. Swagbeja is because I'm always talking. I'm always saying different things of how I met you, what I saw, what I experienced, and seriously, I don't think this can ever go away in anytime soon. So, thank you, ma. I'm very thankful that I met you years ago, and till now, I'm not saying I'm not praying you disappoint me. You've never disappointed me. So thank you for bringing this up as well because you might see this as a small thing. This means a lot to me than just sharing what I feel within me right now. It's a lot and it makes me reflect on where do I go next? So thank you everyone. I'm sorry for taking 3 minutes of your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my sister. I think I saw Sister Joy here, Ihanacho. Please, sis, you were not on the call when we were asked to talk about VIVE and why you decided to join VIVE. Please go ahead, and if you're ready to speak, you can quickly do that before we end the call now. Mrs. Ihanacho, are you ready to speak? Okay. All right. So I think having done that, I'd like to really thank everyone for coming, not just coming on the call, but staying and listening. Thank you for the kind comments in the comments in the chat box, and beyond the comments, I really, 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 really hope that you have been impacted this afternoon, that you've got something to think about, that something has been stirred within you this afternoon. And this is the beginning, or this is just the beginning of many great things. As VIVE launches and as we continue to grow, we'll continue to have deeper conversations, and not just deep conversations, but we also want to do practical things to really help us all as African women get to where we need to be and develop that all-round excellence, that an all-round strength that we call Chael as defined in the Bible. So that is our goal. I'd like to really thank everyone. And as we leave today, I want to pray for every one of us that the Lord will help you. Where you need to find strength, you find the strength that you need in Jesus' name. You will never look around and not find help in the name of Jesus. You'll always find the people, the resources that you need to do everything that you need to do. And most importantly, you will find the wisdom, because every problem in life is a wisdom problem. If you just knew how, if your eyes were just opened, if you just saw the right perspective, you'll be able to solve that problem. I want to pray that the wisdom of God will always support you in the name of Jesus. And as we go back into our various endeavors and our various spaces, I pray that that we will continue to grow and grow. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mercy. Mercy?
Yes, I'm here, Ma. So it is at this point that we will draw the curtain. And thank you, everyone, once again for joining in. Mrs. Pagreja, thank you so much for pouring out so much. We really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone that has signed in. You can check the chat box before we end the call to see how you can fully be a part of Vibe Network. Thank you once again, and God bless you all. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank
Bye for
you.
now.
Bye, everyone. You can unmute and say bye if you want to.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Ma. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, sisters. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Oh,
All right, everyone. We're ending the call now. Bye.
All right, bye bye, bye.
Bye bye, everyone.